JEDI Talk. This is a space where we're going to be sharing conversations about justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And I couldn't be more happy to be with my friend, Dr. Tammy. Hi, Dr. Tammy.
Hi. Thank you for having me. Thank you for hanging out with me another week. This is week 2.
It is week 2 for us. And I really feel like, there are moments in the world's history when I really feel like social issues really come to the forefront, and it's really our duty, if we really consider ourselves conscious of the world that's going on, like we should start creating a unified language in terms of the work that needs to be done, right? So I'm excited to unpack with you what JEDI actually means, and how we came to this conversation. So welcome,
Yes.
Dr. Tammy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I know I'm really excited, because, when people see your JEDI, I think their mind goes, depending on their schema, may go somewhere else. And we want to bring it in relationship to what we're talking about. And,
Yes. Yes.
because I'm sure people are already thinking like JEDI.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, if you're a fan of like the epic space saga, right, the opera, Star Wars, right, then you're probably waiting for us to say the Force is strong in this room, right?
It is, though. It is.
Yeah.
Can y'all feel this energy that we're having here?
Okay. So, like, this is the thing I love about Jedi-ness, I guess you could say, right? So, like, the Jedi Force, the Force, all of that, I love how they talk about the Force being within us, but you have to activate it.
Love that.
We're totally vibing on the definition of the word Jedi as defined by George Lucas from Star Wars, but we're also bringing it into a space where we really feel like, we're committing ourselves to being educated, and I think I'm examining my own personal beliefs and habits in relation to Jediism, I guess, justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And I'll even go a step further and say advocacy, right? Because I think I want to take that, the messages, the philosophical messages that people have affinity to when it goes to Jediism, and bring that into the force that we need to have in terms of social change, in terms of support for everyone. So yeah, let's bring all the fans of Jedi into this. We need everybody.
Bring it in.
With your lightsabers.
I know.
Yeah. So Dr. Tammy, for people who are new to this space, they may not know who you are. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Absolutely. I am Dr. Tammy, your success strategist and literacy educator, and I help purpose-driven leaders. And that's one of the reasons we're here, for all of you out there in the community to move in the direction of more and prepare for what's next. And today I'm doing that by the JEDI Talks. And I'm here with Lisa, and we're just going to hang out with you and just talk about some of these ideas. And we hope that you will engage with us in the comments, chit chat, ask questions. Anything that's thought-provoking and insightful can really, propel us into our next episode. And, if we don't address it today, we can definitely talk about it then. So we are, so I'm excited. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So we also have a friend of ours, Janine. Hi, ladies. Yep. Hi. And then we have Suraida, our heart. Hi, Suraida. How's it going? By the way, Suraida actually, she's one of the hosts of this show, and she couldn't be here today because her daughter is playing in a soccer tournament out of town. So I think like a state championship or something. So let's send all the good vibes for some state championship wins for you, Suraida, and your Evelyn, who is, by the way, one of our Power Up kids. We absolutely love having Evelyn as part of our community, and you too, Suraida. Welcome. And so for those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Lisa Wisner. I am actually most well known as being the host of Power Up Hero, which is an opportunity for you to learn how to capitalize on your strengths. I'm all about providing opportunities where everyone rises up, and I put my hands up because I always like to give high fives. And so I'm all about high-fiving you into the best version of yourself. And so whatever you need, however you need it, we're here to provide those opportunities. And so just like Dr. Tammy, we are fully committed to helping you to move in the direction of more. Dr. Tammy, I'm starting to talk like you. I love it. I make a joke about it because Dr. Tammy has a book that's like Reap More. And then she has another book that's Manifest More. And I find myself in meetings going, yeah, I want to move your organization towards more. more diversity, more equity, more inclusivity. And I'm like, I'm just talking like Dr. Tammy right now. So
that is exactly why I chose that. That's exactly why I have the more as a part of my brand, because, you know, we're
yeah.
moving toward that. Whatever it is, whatever's good,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I love that. The positive, right? Positive, positive, positive. And so Soraida's like, thanks, ladies, with the soccer balls. And our really, really good friend, who, by the way, we cannot wait to get on this show, Carla. I think her son is competing in some competition, and so she couldn't be here with us, but we're hoping she'll join us in the next session.
More vibes.
Yeah, good vibes to you. Can you feel it? Can you feel the Jedi force?
We got it going, girlfriend. We got it going.
Just feel it. Just feel it. Just feel it. Okay. So today we actually want to. Oh yeah, and we have Janine saying yes, more positive energy, more. Just breathe it in. Have that Jedi force within you, because what we're gonna do right now is make you realize that the force is already within you. You already have it, and just like the Jedis in Star Wars, right? You have to activate it. You have it within you, right? And you just have to be able to activate it. You could activate it with a mentor. You could activate it by yourself by going through a difficult circumstance where you have to survive. But yes, we want more. And I love Luisa saying positive attitudes are good latitudes. Yes, the way to flourish, right? The way you fly up is by having a good attitude. And Luis is actually my really good friend. Oh my goodness, Luis. I am so glad you're here. Luis is one of my friends from Toastmasters. Welcome, Luis, fellow DTMer. And then we also have Carla, who says that her son is actually in a UIL debate. Good vibes for Daniel. Good vibes for Daniel. Hopefully you can feel the Jedi Force is strong. The Jedi Force is strong with Daniel. He's going to win. Whatever it is, positive. He's going to win. All right. So, Dr. Tammy, let's go ahead and get started, right?
Let's get in. Let's just dive in.
Last week, we had the pleasure of unpacking what Jedi meant, right? And Jedi was really the opportunity for you to see that if you're a Jedi, you're an agent of change. You're an agent of change that's focused on justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And today, we promised you that we would define those for you. And we're going to start with the first two, which is justice and equity. And Dr. Tammy and I worked together to actually just pull together a little presentation where we wanted to share with you visually about Jedi, right? And I think, Dr. Tammy, how do you learn? Do you learn better like visually, or how do you learn?
Oh, definitely visual. I'm a visual learner, absolutely. And so the visual images just really help solidify things for me. And, we all have a little bit of everything, but visual is my number one.
It is. And, sometimes I have people telling, read this book, read this manual. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you either have to show me or just, is there a movie for that book? So I kind of need a shortcut, right, to get it. And I don't feel like I need to apologize about that. So we made some visuals to help you move in the direction of being more Jedi-like. All right. Like Dr. Tammy moves us. She's the catalyst.
Yes.
More of Jedi advocacy. There we go. So we're going to just define very swiftly. Jedi is justice. So justice is about equal rights and equitable opportunities. Pay attention to equitable opportunities. Next is equity, which is equitable. Equity in policy, practice, and position. Next is diversity. The D is diversity of people and perspective. All people, all perspectives, right? Not just our inherent, but our acquired, right? Maybe even the way you think, right? And then last but not least, inclusion, which is an opportunity for us to have voice, have power, and have organizational cultures that really make us feel like we belong, right?
Yes, belong is the key.
It's definitely the key. So we already talked about the fact that we learn better with visuals. I have an image I'm going to share. And when I share this image, I need everybody who's watching right now. We have a bunch of people watching. Please share in the chat, in the comments, what your first impression of this image is. Here is the image. Tell us what you think about this image, because the first thing we're going to be talking about today is justice. And so as you can see, how do we get to justice, right? What do we have to go through in terms of definitions before we even get to the J of Jedi to justice, right? And so I see Luis has said that it's equanimity, right? So having an opportunity where we have equal opportunity, right?
Yeah.
I like hearing that. I need more. I need more. We're gonna keep it going until people.
Yeah, initial reactions. Post them.
Post your reactions. Zoraida says equality is not the same. I'm guessing that was gonna be not the same. What do you think, Dr. Tammy, when you see this image?
Well, and I think it makes a distinction because I think a lot of people like to combine equity and equality, kind of like Zoraida was saying. And so this makes a distinction. And it also shows the progression. Like there's equality, you must understand that, but equity is even better. And then you have the justice, which goes very well with equity and injustice and justice. That way you don't have injustices. So I think that, I like the image, the progression of it. And I like that it makes a distinction. And for a long time, we focused on equality. We wanted equality. Equality was the word, and what people vote was active. Had activists around. However, equity is what we really are pushing for today. That's what we want today. We want equity, right? So we all want that box, but now we need a number of boxes that are for us. So in this case, in the case of the image,
yes, we have Carla who says justice is removing the barriers. Yes. And we also have Tamisha. Welcome, Tamisha. Tamisha from LinkedIn. Justice takes restructure. Ooh, yes. The systemic barriers, the making sure the marginalized communities are heard. Yes, definitely. And Zoraida says equity is the way we accomplish equality. And so we're going to actually take it a step further based off of this. And hopefully you've realized here that to define justice, we must begin with defining equality and equity. And I want to thank the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation for creating this image I'm about to share next, okay? They shared this image that's representative of what equality is. So as you can see here, if you are listening to this on audio and not necessarily watching, there's bicycles that are provided to the population and everybody has the same bike. Right. Which is equality, right, Dr. Tammy?
Yes, absolutely.
That's equality. You all got a bike. You're good, right? You're good, right?
However, we see something's wrong with this picture.
Something's wrong with this picture. Can you see how everybody's reacting in this picture? We need equity. We need equity to move in the direction of more. I love saying stuff like Dr. Tammy says. I love it. I love it. I love it. I feel like when sometimes people say, oh, you're channeling Simon Sinek when you talk about start with why, and you're channeling Peter Drucker when you say what gets measured gets done. And I'm like, yes, I'm channeling Dr. Tammy when I say move in the direction of more.
I'm so honored. Oh, don't make me cry. We're talking about equity and equality.
we are. And we're talking about you too. So the point here is that in this image, tell me what this image does for you. Carla has already said powerful imagery, right? Yeah. We learn so much better with images. Images speak volumes. We could be reading to you the Webster's Dictionary definitions of these, but will you forget this image in your mind that the person who was on a wheelchair was given an opportunity to move in the direction of more as well? The person who was crunched in their chair, in their bike, couldn't even pedal, was given an opportunity to capitalize on their full potential. They have long legs. They could win the Olympics in cycling, right? So give them that opportunity. And then the child who may not even be able to even touch the pedals, the person who just needs an opportunity is seeing that opportunity. That's what I see.
Yeah. And the other thing, Lisa, is when we look at the first image, the top image with equality, is typically we only identify with what we have experienced. We only identify with that person that we have seen and have encountered. However, if you look at all of them, three of the four need different bikes. They need a different bike. And so, but typically we only identify what we get. And so part of this work is getting us to be open-minded and see and be aware that see what other people need and see what their needs are to make sure we're meeting and giving them what they need, not what we think they need and not what we see, but really paying attention. Yeah.
Yes. And I think sometimes people think when they say, oh no, equality, we want equality. And what they mean is fairness. What they really mean is fairness, but fairness is really equity, right?
Right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And I really like how Luis, who says that equality and equity balance the scales of justice. Ooh, can we
Ooh,
just
these
like,
are quotables. Now,
what?
Luis, you should
Yes,
be tweeting these out and
I know.
and
Luis,
hashtagging Jedi
Luis,
Talks on that because I'm loving this. So I can
I'm
retweet it.
loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And Tamisha says all in the image is provided opportunity to participate. Yes,
Right,
everybody can move to the destination. And
right,
you're given a chance to do that, right? And that's the equity work, making your decisions on what you're going to do through an equity lens. And
yeah,
Soraya says it helps you see the experiences of other people. I'm loving
exactly.
this so much. It's coming together, y'all. It's coming together. And Carla says it's offering the same opportunity to all by allowing them to be themselves. Oh, that's even just, I think,
Right.
the point.
And
Carla, you took it
Jedi,
all away.
yeah, and Jedi activating your power.
Activate it. Activate it. I'm so powered up right now because I really feel like everyone is getting it, right? The point here is that everybody just wants to be the best version of themselves, like Carla said. You shouldn't have to check yourself. There shouldn't be a cost to you being yourself. You should just be in a community like we live here in the city of Corpus Christi. You should feel like your community takes care of you as you are. We meet you where you're at and we all move together on the same platform, the same spectrum, right? But we all need support in different ways. So I'm loving this conversation so much. So I guess now we've defined equality and equity, right? Now, can I take it a step further and just cheer on this educator? So I could not find for the life of me who this educator was. Otherwise, I would give them credit. We have an opportunity where there was an educator who shared lessons that she was doing in her classroom, teaching her children about equity. And so I see how imagery is so important, but can you see how a second grader can also define this just by looking at an image? So I have a challenge out there to all our educators. Bring this into your classroom. Bring this into the conversations so your children are able to see when everybody does not have the same opportunity. By creating an equity lens in everyone, we create opportunities where everyone rises up. And so help our children have that equity lens of let's not see this as equality, let's see this as equity. Let equity be the term that we start to use. I love it.
Yeah.
And Carla has just helped us see that it's offering the same opportunity to all by allowing them to be themselves. And that's what we truly want, right? We want all our children to be themselves unapologetically. All right. So back to justice. Remember this image?
Da, da, da. Yes.
Yeah. So now let's talk a little bit about justice, because justice is taking it just a little bit of a step further. And I think Luis should have been on this right now. And so Luis, I'm actually going to, if you don't mind, I'm actually going to drop the link directly into the chat right now. Luis, if you feel like joining us here, feel free, okay? There is the link. You can join us if you feel like. If you don't, that's totally fine. But you're welcome to join us in the room. Luis says, equality and equity balance the scales of justice. Wow, I love that. So the work you do for equity creates justice. It's the work that we're doing to create justice. And I'm looking at the image right now, but I almost feel like I want to say that for me, justice is the path of what's right. Justice is the part where it says, yes, we want that and we have to make a path. There has to be action. Justice is the action of making sure that it's right. Do you agree, Dr. Tammy?
Yes. Because I think when I, even when I first saw this image, which was a while back, I was like, what's the difference? When I got to the justice, I got it with the equality, I got it with the equity, but then with justice, and then it was like, the fence, like, OMG. And so I think sometimes we miss even the barriers. We think equity is enough by just, giving everybody what they need. But then how about just take away that barrier? And then what if you added a box to it? Like that is just like the little boy would just be like even
Mhm.
elevated, right? So I just think that this image is really powerful in just thinking about the difference and the nuances and how we implement that in our daily practices, whether it's at your job or, whatever you do, and engage with other people. Just amazing.
Yeah, I love it. Love the imagery. Okay, so I want to actually just move on because I think the next slide brings it together.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Tammy, this is our reality right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know if you'd be as kind as to read what it says on the bottom.
So, and and the thing is, I think the last year has really highlighted this. So if you haven't been around the last year, I don't know where you've been, but this is kind of highlighted. But one gets more than is needed, while others get less than is needed. Thus, a huge disparity is created. And so I think that disproportionality there is really key here. Like, yeah.
So that's the reality. Which, I mean, however you see this, we can't go back and change things, right? We can only move forward. So let's move forward and realize that we fight for equality, right?
Yeah.
It was Equal Pay Day, I think, a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah.
Equal Pay Day. I'm over here like, how about equitable pay day, right? Like, let's think about that, right? Let's think about that for a second. Let's just redefine equal pay day to equity pay day. So can you read equality for us, Dr. Tammy?
Absolutely. So the assumption is that everyone benefits from the same support. This is considered to be equal treatment. But as you can see, not everyone benefits from the same support. And, it's still in this, I think with both reality and equality, is the have and the have nots. Like even still, they have something similar. It's not enough for everyone. Everyone don't start off at the same point. So,
Yes. And then equity.
Now we're seeing progress. Yeah. Everyone gets the support they need, which produces equity.
Right? And then now justice, right? I don't know why my voice gets deep when I say justice.
Justice. That's how powerful it is. You got to go to the pit of your stomach, to your belly, to your core. Yeah. And justice is where all three can see the game without support or accommodations because the cause or causes of the inequity were addressed. And this systematic barrier has been removed. And I love that.
Yeah. It's like why is there the fence, like you said, right?
Right.
Why do we need the fence?
We can all see. Let's all see the game.
Let's all see this. And literally, I think I want to just bring in some amazing people who are with us on this journey. Thank you so much, Carla. Literally thinking outside or without the boxes. Yes. You got it, Carla. You got
without boxes.
Why do we need to be in the boxes, right? Let's get outside of the box. Think outside the box. Talk about that all day long. Let's get rid of the boxes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a double meaning right there. Double meaning.
Yeah, I love it.
Because even in the equity, if you look at the equity photo or that image, that particular square rectangle, there's all of them are struggling still, look over this fence. But if you just remove the barriers, then hey, we can all enjoy the game. We can all kind of relax into this and let it be the fun activity it's meant to be, right? So it's a better experience for us all.
And then we have a fan on YouTube who posted,
I see that.
Camping, blacks and whites both have a pro-black bias. Black people have 3 times more pro-black bias than white people have. So it's no wonder that Black people feel like they're being treated unfairly. And another comment of why don't they pay admission, right? I almost want to just take it even a step further and say, next week, we're going to be talking about diversity and inclusion. And this whole thing will come together when we do that, because this is only part of the equation. When we talk about JEDI, justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion, none of these works if one of them is not there, right? And so right now we're fighting for justice. We're talking about equity. There's something missing here. I'm not going to give it away right now, but there's something missing in this picture. And so I want to ask you all right now who are watching, listening right now, what's your idea of what's missing, right? Think about that. Think about where haven't we gone yet, right? We have our 3 individuals here, and we have the team on the field. We have Hammock Camping, who so graciously said, why don't they pay admission? I mean, a little hint, why do they need to pay admission? Why should there be a cost associated with you trying to be the best version of yourself?
Being included. I have something to say about that comment, but we're just going to keep it rolling.
Yes, we are.
Look,
There's
because
a lot of
even in that comment, there's bias. In that long statement, there's bias in there. So anyway,
yeah,
but
there is, because there's only one perspective, right?
right.
And so I just want to close this slide with Luis, who says, a loving, caring, collective conscious is the key to being mindful of everyone's need. Yes. I almost feel like as Jedis, maybe our superpower should be empathy, right? That I think if you're trying to create justice, then you have to be able to see from a different lens.
Yeah. Yeah, and give grace.
Yes. And avoid, just be honest. There's this, it's the truth. Just be, I feel like just be honest about what the reality is so we can move ahead, right? So we can go beyond appearances, because I think we sometimes relegate ourselves to what looks good, what's going to be represented good, right? And it's maybe not what we're looking for. So,
yeah, and I think when we talk about diversity, that's really going to bring it home. I can't wait to talk about diversity and inclusion, because immediately, like, that comment went to a black and white thing, but we're talking about people getting what they need and not necessarily seeing color, but seeing what is the need. Do you know the need? And are you addressing the need and removing the barriers for that need? So anyway.
Yes. And, I think, yes, that's a lot of times when people think about disparities and think about marginalized communities, we're not only talking about race and ethnicity.
Right.
There is also considerations for sexual orientation, ability, disability, right? So we need to be aware of the fact that our diversity is so broad. The intersection of the human being is so broad that I want to bring back Luis into saying that we just have to take care of the humanity of the person, right? The person needs what they need, and they don't need to have a cost associated with being a true contributor in our community.
Yep, but come back and we'll address that comment and we'll address diversity. But yes, but it's about what people need.
There's some really awesome comments, which I have to bring in our fans. So Luis, be the observer. I love it. Maybe, and when I think about the justice, right, when we think about the work that we're doing, pay attention, situational awareness. Pay attention, right, to what's going on. Be the observer. There's a super long comment. And so, Dr. Tammy, please, I feel like we need to definitely address speakers who are here, our I guess fans, right, who are watching. It looks so wonderful on paper, and yet communism strived from this platform. And in the millions of years it has existed, men have subjugated women and children. Boys were the preference as a child. Some families worked harder than others, and no one had the same amount of food. Folks frame each other so that they can sue one another in both platforms. Something new needs to evolve, and this platform brings nothing new to the table. We cannot continue to repeat history in order to succeed or strive. I think that's what was trying to be said at the rest of that comment. Wow, somebody has a voice and they just shared it right now. Thank you so much to Carla for sharing that. Carla Zwicker from Facebook, thank you so much. We also have Zoraida, who shared, if we are to remove the obstacles, we must also have allies, allies who are willing to help remove them. Yes, right? And I think that's part of the movement we're trying to build here. Indeed, Dr. Tammy, and yes, Luis. So I just feel like we were able to unpack. I feel like we were successful in unpacking justice and equity.
Yeah. Absolutely. This has been amazing. I've enjoyed it. And I love the comments. Thank you all for commenting and engaging with us. OMG. I'm going to go back and read them and engage because I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so as we're bringing it all together, just know that if you tune in next week, actually, no, not next week. We're actually going to take a break for 2 weeks, right? Because we actually have an event going on that's based off of this JEDI principles. And I'm going to throw the link up real quick. So if you are interested in learning more about JEDI, Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, there's actually a TEDx event that's being hosted here in our community, TEDx Cole Park. Get your ticket, because the speakers are, we just had a rehearsal this morning, and I was like, the first rehearsal person who came on, I was almost in tears.
Yes.
Past goosebumps, I was moved to tears. So
May 1st, May 1st, grab
get
your
your ticket,
ticket.
get your ticket, people. And so, so there's more in the comments, right? So we have Carla saying, bravo, ladies. Thank you so much. Luis, we will see you next time. If you want to come on the show, Luis, you are most welcome. We really appreciate you. And then we want to bring back hammock camping. What if I have a need to give my children every legitimate advantage that I can, and I don't want the government to redistribute their advantages to others? That is your duty and service to your children, and you need to continue to do that as an individual. And in fact, if you are doing that, then you are being the hero or the Jedi of your children and your family. That is what you need to do. Continue to do that. We appreciate you so much for sharing that comment, Hammond, because it means that you are being the best version of yourself for your community. And that's all we can ask for everybody, right, Dr. Tammy?
That's it.
That's all we can ask. So bringing it all together, we have literally tried to string together these words, JEDI, which stand for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And so in closing, I just want to just share with you all that, you know, this is an opportunity for these conversations to continue. So if you want to be part of these Jedi talks, Luis, thanks for sharing your phone number. Hopefully you don't get a bunch of phone calls from everybody all over the world, but yeah, I know. It's awesome. But I know Luis, and so Luis is actually, I think he's an ordained minister in Unity Church, and so he's committed to this work. And so I appreciate you, Luis. We will definitely get in touch with you, but definitely make sure you know that we have a website that you can go and sign up. You can actually sign up on a list, and we can keep in touch with you and share with you every time we go live on these Jedi talks. And we'll hopefully bring more fans to be able to be here with us live to expand the conversation. So Dr. Tammy, before we close, do you have anything to end the show?
Just stay with us, come back, and be open-minded. And, you know that what we're doing here is just to create awareness and the conversation and have these conversations that are really tough. They are uncomfortable, but we appreciate you being here. And, think about how in your space can you create an equitable and just environment. That way it's safe and comfortable for those that you are meant to impact and you are meant to serve, and that you are doing what's aligned with your purpose in this world. So yeah.
Yes. And yeah, so you're activating the force, right? May the force be with you. Bring the force within out and use it for good, for justice, and with an equity lens. And so just in closing, for Dr. Tammy and I, thank you, Dr. Tammy, for being here. We want to thank you so much for listening, for watching this show. If you want to find out more about this Jedi movement, you can go to our website, which is, I'm going to put the banner up again, which is poweruptalks.org/Jedi. Sign up so that we can start to create conversations. This is really in the beginning stages. So if you want to be a part of this, then we totally welcome you. Carla, you are definitely a Jedi, so we want you back. We want you to be on the show next time we are on, so we definitely want you on there. And so for everybody who's watching right now, I want to thank you for watching. Wherever you are watching or listening, please subscribe to this show. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Facebook, Periscope, LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Stitcher. If you have an Alexa, play Jedi Talks. Yes, and Alexa should be able to do that for you. We have that synced everywhere and anywhere that you can tune in. We are here for you to deliver Jedi Talks. We hope you are educated, we hope you are inspired, and we hope you are encouraged to be a Jedi, united with us, not only for the community that you serve, for the teams you are blessed to serve with at your job, for your family, for your friends, for your career, and maybe for the world, because I believe that the world needs more Jedis more than ever before. So Dr. Tammy, with me, say, be a Jedi. 1, 2, 3.
Be a Jedi.
May the force be with all of you. Bye.